Hello, students. This is Akshay Sir from the Divine School of Economics. In this online lesson, we are going to continue with the discussion of the Cambridge International AS Economics past paper discussion. We are looking at the 2026 Math Series question paper, as all students can currently see on your screens. It is paper 1, which is the AS level multiple choice paper, which contains 30 multiple choice questions. If I scroll down the question paper, in the previous online lesson, we had done discussion of question 1, 2, as well as question number 3. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to start from the discussion of question number 4. I hope students can see question number 4 on your screens. Let's quickly start from the discussion of this particular MCQ in this online lesson. Let's look at question number 4. Ravi is a public sector worker. He visits the subsidized state-owned cafeteria daily to purchase mangoes, apples, and bananas for 80 rupees and then shares his food with Anushka. What is the most likely classification of these goods? Now, in our lessons in microeconomics, we have talked about the classification of goods. We know that goods can be classified into free goods, private goods, public goods, merit goods, demerit goods, economic goods, and so on. Okay. Now, if you look at the uh, question, mangoes, apples, and bananas are purchased by Ravi. That means they are not free goods. They are purchased for 80 rupees. That means these are private goods because they are excludable. There's a price charged for them. If you don't pay the price, you are excluded from buying them. These goods are also rival in consumption because if you consume mangoes, apples, and bananas, it leaves it less for the others to consume. So they are private goods, but they also offer health benefits. Fruits offer health benefits, so they are also merit goods. If you look at the options, the best classification of them is merit and private goods. Why merit? Because they have positive externalities in the form of good health benefits they provide to the society at large. Why private goods? Because they are excludable. There's a price charged for them, 80 rupees. They are not free of cost and they are rival in consumption. Because Ravi has to share them with Anushka. Obviously, if Ravi consumes some of apples, mangoes, and bananas, it leaves lesser amount of these fruits for Anushka to consume. So they are not demerit goods because they offer health benefits. They are not public goods at all. Why are they not public goods? Because they are rival in consumption and they are not free of cost. Public goods, you don't have to pay anything. Their public goods are non-excludable. You can't exclude someone from having access to a public good. They are free of charge. You don't have to pay a price for them. Mangoes, apples, and bananas are coming for a price of 80 rupees. So they are not public goods. Plus, mangoes, apples, and bananas are rival in consumption. If Ravi consumes them, Anushka has a lower quantity of them to be consumed. Option C is also not the answer because they are not free. They are coming for 80 rupees. That means my answer is option D. I'm quickly writing here as a note. Recall that merit goods are those goods that generate positive externalities in consumption. That means merit goods are going to benefit the society at large. Okay. And at the same time, the second point within the note, private goods are those goods that are both rival and excludable in consumption. When I say that they are rival, it means consuming a private good leaves lesser of that available to the other party. When I say that they are excludable, it means when you are consuming a private good, you have to pay a fee or you have to pay a price for it. Only those who pay a price for a private good can have access to a private good. Okay, so hoping students have understood this. This was a short summary of question 4. Let's look at question 5. In the diagram, the original production possibility curve is LM. Remember from my lessons, a production possibility curve captures combinations of two goods the economy can produce with all its resources fully and efficiently utilized at a given level of technology at a given point of time. Okay, LM is the initial production possibility curve. We are measuring capital goods on the horizontal axis, consumer goods are on the vertical axis. Capital goods are those goods which are used to produce consumer goods. Consumer goods are meant for direct satisfaction by the consumer. What could cause the curve to shift to NT? You see that the production possibility curve is shifting inwards. We have talked about this in our lessons, in our theoretical lessons. Now, access to theoretical lessons will be given to all those students who subscribe to the complete course for Cambridge 9708 AS Economics. Okay. The production possibility curve shifts to the left when the resources decrease, when there's an economic decline, when resources decrease. Now, resources can decrease because of wars, natural calamities, pandemics, epidemics, and so on. A bad economic shock can cause resources to decrease. And when I talk about resources, resources include labor services, land, capital, entrepreneurship skills. So if you look at the options, a fall in the working population means that there's a fall in the working labor, which means a fall in resources. So this implies a fall in resources. A fall in resources implies production possibility curve shifts to the left. That means again, our first option is the correct answer. But remember, I always tell all my students in the MCQ paper, you should also check other answers and confirm that they are not the answer. Okay. Option B, a reallocation of resources from consumer to capital goods will only cause movement along the PPC, not shift of the PPC. This is not true. This will not cause a movement along the, this will not cause a shift of the PPC. This will not cause PPC to shift. Increase in output per worker is not the answer. Increase in output per worker will be a result of a better technology or better education when the PPC shifts to the right. In this case, PPC is shifting to the left. When PPC is shifting to the left, less of capital and consumer goods are produced. That means the output is on a lower side in the economy, not increasing. Option D is also not correct. Unemployment causes you to land up at a point below the PPC. It does not cause a shift in the PPC. Again, it causes a movement from a point on the PPC to a point below the PPC. But it does not cause shift in the PPC. But it does not cause a leftward shift in the PPC. Okay, so when there's a fall in the working population, now also students, when I say that there's a fall in the working population, it means a fall in the working population for both capital and consumer goods. That is what we are assuming. It's not that the working population is falling only for capital goods or consumer goods. Working population in general is falling, which produces both capital and consumer goods. That means when there's a fall in the working population, less of capital and consumer goods can be produced, which causes a leftward shift in the PPC from LP to from LM to NP. There's a leftward shift in the PPC because the working population has fallen, which means there's a fall in the resources. That means option A is the correct answer. Question number 6, very easy. What is meant by cross elasticity of demand? Cross elasticity of demand is going to measure responsiveness of demand of one good with respect to a change in the price of other. So if you look at all the options, option D is correct. Responsiveness of quantity demanded of good X with respect to a change in price of good Y. It does not talk about responsiveness of price. Okay, it does not talk about responsiveness of demand for a good with respect to its own price. This is price elasticity of demand, not cross elasticity of demand. It does not talk about change responsiveness of one quantity to another quantity. It only talks about how demand for one good responds to a change in the price of the other. So my answer is option D. And cross elasticity of demand tells us whether the goods are substitutes, whether they are complements, or whether they are unrelated. So I'm writing a sticky note. I'm just writing a note here. Cross elasticity of demand tells us whether two goods are substitutes or complements or unrelated. We have done this in depth in our theoretical lessons, okay, in our microeconomics module. Let's look at question number 7. An increased demand for cars leads to an increased demand for steel. What best describes the relationship between cars and steel? Obviously, cars and steel are not substitutes. They can't be used in place of each other. They are not complements also, because you are not consuming cars and steel together. However, they are derived demand because steel is used to make cars. Steel is used to make cars. Therefore, an increase in the demand for cars leads to an increase in the demand for steel also, which is derived demand. So my answer is option C. It's not joint supply also. Okay, it's nothing to do with supply. It's to do with demand, first of all. That means A, B, and D are eliminated. My answer is option C. Remember, students, I'm repeating it again in your MCQ paper 1. Even if you know the answer for the MCQ, please check other options and confirm that they are not the answer. Sometimes there are options which are very close to each other. That means you can't just mark the correct answer if you look at it. You have to confirm that other answers are incorrect. Okay, so hoping students have understood this. I stop in this lesson. We have solved till question number 7. In the next lesson, I'm going to start from the discussion of question number 8. So I hope students have enjoyed this online lesson. Any doubts, you can unmute your mics and ask, or you can get in touch with me for doubts on call or WhatsApp, or you can mail me your doubts at divineschoolofeconomics@gmail.com. This is where I stop in this lesson.